listening to Erik Waddell Pause. We pause for a second or two. This is episode 39, Specific Skill Routines. There is a lot right now that is complex. There are a multiple of parallel changes right now that are complex. Anything that is complex is in its nature too vast for us to understand in a simple manner. So, for anything that is complex, we cannot just learn about it and be done with it. We cannot do that. Something that is complex is different. We are complex. Me as a person, I am complex. And you as a person, you are complex. And every time we have the ambition to coexist or combine ourselves with something other that is also complex, then we need structure. In our framework of emotional skills, there is a situation called confused with two white grayish question marks. And the goal for when we are confused is structure. What is making us confused are complex things. Today's episode is about one of the three specific skills to reach structure, to build structure. And the specific skill I will speak about today is routines. Routines is a great point to start with if we want to build structure. Just as if you want to paint a complex painting, or if you want to compose a complex song, or if you want to write a complex book, or if you want to build a complex relationship with someone, or if you want to coexist with some change in society that is complex. For each of these, in order for you to have structure when living with these, when creating these, you need routines. So, as we embark on coexisting with something complex, we need to have these periods of time when we expose ourselves to the thing in question. And as we expose ourselves, we are like a fish out of water. We will be confused. We will not really know what to make of this unfamiliar situation. And as we have exposed ourselves to this novel thing, we then take a step back. And what we do when we take a step back is that we submit ourselves or do a routine, something we know, something we have done 1,000 times before. And then, as we are doing our routine, our experience from this novel thing can find its proper place within us. Our deeper psyche gets the time it needs to process whatever novel thing we were experiencing. So what we want is a structure for our confusion. We want to be confused in these manageable portions. And in between each confused portion, in between each confused experience, every new experience we have, we want a routine. So the routines become like a scaffolding. Like if you want to build a house, you need a scaffolding to be able to do the more complex aspects of the building. So the scaffolding for a book is the book in itself, the pages. And the scaffolding for music is the tempo and key. The scaffolding for a painting is the canvas. The scaffolding for a relationship is the routines. Routines allow us to get to know each other in a complex way. Routines help us live with confusion, because while we are doing our routines, we are not confused. So the better our routines, the more able we will be to be exposed to confusion, to be exposed to new things. Oftentimes, most of the time, confusion is described as something inherently bad, something we do not want. And most of the time, we shame people who act confused. This is not very nuanced. Because confusion is something we all need to grow as people. So confusion is not really the villain here, but the lack of structure is the villain. The lack of routines in a person's life is the villain. So what we should shame is not the confusion in itself, but the lack of routines. This healthy shaming to like appeal to each other's better nature. Everyone needs routines. Without routines, we do not feel well. Without routines, we cannot handle much complexity at all. So if you think about some great artists or musicians or writers, oftentimes, not everybody, but oftentimes they have these routines. They always do. So in between their moments of creation, their moments of confusion and exploration, they have these really clear routines. So the more satisfied you are with your set of routines, the higher your degree of ability to process complexity will be. So if you have something complex in front of you that you either want to coexist with or you need to coexist with, if you have something complex in front of you, what you should ask yourself is not, what are the million things I need to learn about this? That's not what you should ask yourself. As you are standing in front of something complex, what you need to ask yourself is, what routines, what concrete daily routines do I need in order to coexist with this complex thing I have in front of me? The problem is not confusion. The problem is not complexity in itself. The problem is that we feel overwhelmed when we think we have to learn about this complex thing in a short time frame and in an overwhelmingly fast pace. We need time to learn how to coexist with complex things. And other people needs time to figure out how to coexist with us. I am complex. You cannot learn how to live with me in 5 minutes. You cannot. You will need routines to be able to process what I am about. And you need routines to be able to figure out what you are about in the meeting with me. The problem is not confusion. The problem is a lack of structure, a lack of routines. So, if you're meeting something complex, or someone complex, and you feel angry, that anger is very good. That anger is very healthy. But you need to direct that anger where it can do good. The energy in your anger, it can do a lot of good if you direct it into creating routines so that you get a fair chance of getting to know this complex thing or person. In this last part of the episode, I will speak briefly about a few of my favorite routines generally in life. And some of these are just classics that most people enjoy, and some of them maybe are not. A really important routine for me is mornings. And mornings is actually a specific skill in itself that I will talk about in another episode more extensively. But I can mention here that mornings are very important to feel that our mornings are predictable and that we feel satisfied with the way our mornings go. Another routine is going to bed. It is just as important as mornings. If we feel that going to bed is predictable and pleasant, that will greatly increase our ability to process confusion and complexity. And the time when we sleep is a lot about processing complexity and confusion, in part in our dreams, as you know. A third routine that is very important to me is working out. And when working out, the goal is to work out in a structured way, to connect with our bodies in a structured way. For example, once or twice a week, I go out running. And I run the same distance every time. So I have this short track, this forest track that I run. And each lap is about a kilometer. And once or twice a week I run 4 laps. Always 4 laps. And what that does is that since I always run the same length, I can feel how my body feels. And as I run 4 laps and I feel how my body feels during that running, I get like a measuring point of how my week has been. And I get a measuring point of how my body is reacting to the weather at present. I live in Sweden, and I live by the coast in Sweden. So the weather here is very fluctuating. It changes a lot. It's cold one day, warm another, raining one day, snowing another, sunny one day, cloudy another. It's very changing. And as I have this routine of running 4 laps once or twice every week, I get a measuring point of how it feels to be me in my body in this particular weather. Weather is really important for how we feel about ourselves and life. We have this joke in Sweden that when we do not know what to talk about, many Swedes being introverted, we talk about the weather because we have nothing else to talk about. Or so the joke goes. But I would argue that the weather is actually very interesting. The weather is not shallow. The weather is really profound. And we are very much affected by weather. And lastly, one routine I would say is very important to me is that every time I have had a very challenging experience, could be anything, but every time I have met something complex, something that really made me confused, right after I have met with something very complex, or something that has shaken me deeply or affected me, then right after that, or the day after that experience, I try to minimize my stimulation. I try to minimize the impressions I get the next day. I try to have a day as boring as possible. And if I can, I will spend time just lying on the ground, on my carpet, on the floor, and just stare into space or close my eyes and just let my body and let my psyche just process the complexity and the depth of what I experienced the day before. So this routine is sort of connected to those extreme moments or those more complex moments. So with that routine in place, I don't have to fear complexity as much. I don't have to shy away when something confusing happens, because I can have this sort of like peace of mind, but more like that I know that as this complex thing is happening in front of me, I know that after this event is over, I get some boring time where I can process what was really going on. So that helps me stay calm in complex situations and stay level-headed. That is a good start. That's it for today. Thank you.